This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a daily wrestling news update. There were two pay-per-views today, or PLEs, whatever you want to call them. The big one was WWE's, where Stephanie McMahon, she set a record today. Her husband, Triple H, who runs the WWE and is in charge of who goes in the Hall of Fame, made a record-setting announcement today. The Undertaker came out because now it's the sweet Undertaker that like has his wife on his podcast, and he delivered the news. And keep in mind, we're in September. Delivered the news that Stephanie McMahon is going into the WWE Hall of Fame at this year's WrestleMania. The earliest, by far, Hall of Fame announcement ever. I am not saying she's not deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. I just find that this is just becoming like way too much of a Triple H show, and The Undertaker has lost all of his mystique. I just think they could find, for whatever they're paying him, and I hear it's millions a year, you'd think they could find a better role for him on these shows than being the guy that delivers the news to Stephanie McMahon. She's going into the Hall of Fame. As a former Undertaker fan, and he was one of my favorite wrestlers, I just don't like this new version of the Undertaker we see, where the curtain is pulled back and he's actually really badly whipped by his wife, and just like a kind of a corporate shill type of guy. Brock Lesnar beat John Cena in the main event, which they aired first. I guess probably for multiple reasons. My main reasons, I would guess, to start their new ESPN era strong. Also, have it on early, so people that have the ESPN app might have a greater chance of watching it if they're only going to watch a few minutes, because those are the two of the top stars in the company, if not the two top active stars now that Roman Reigns has really dropped. But yeah, I don't think anyone should be surprised. Lesnar beat Cena because Lesnar is going to be around and Cena's retiring soon. He only has a handful of dates left. CM Punk and AJ Lee defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in a match where all they did, yeah, exactly. Brock wanted to hop on the plane and fly back. I agree. Because if you're on first, you could. He has a private jet. It's part of his deal. He can be home. Like, and Saskatchewan's a few hours behind. Um, so yeah, he can be home at a reasonable hour. But anyways, AJ Lee and CM Punk won their match against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And the main event was a match that I don't think anyone believed Drew McIntyre had a snowflake's chance in hell of winning. Cody Rhodes beat Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes, other than when he wrestled Cena at WrestleMania, his matches were extremely predicted his whole first run, predictable his whole first run of who would win or not. It was obvious he was going to win every match. And this time, I think they should have kept the title on Cena and then had Lesnar beat Cena for the title, because Lesnar, and here I'll say it again, Lesnar should be the top babyface right now. They're going the wrong direction, making him the heel. He's the coolest active guy they have in the company, and they're trying to make him a heel. Um, yeah, well, I don't. I again, her husband runs the Hall of Fame, so again, this is the Triple H and Stephanie show. In other matches, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker defeated Jimmy and Jey Uso. Aren't one or both of them? I think both of them are Rikishi's sons, right? Do you think it's a coincidence that they lost and Rikishi has brought all this hell to the WWE ID program for that incident with Raja Jackson? Because those one of them was champion not too long ago. Now they're jobbing to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Yeah, AEW was in Toronto. Edge and Christian beat FTR. I read the results. There's not that many names I even recognize in AEW. It's dropped so much off the radar. But speaking of that, let's go over Tony Khan's notes from his media scrum. This is the one of two shows they're doing in Canada this year. They were in London, Ontario, Wednesday for a Dynamite taping, and I believe Collision too. I did get a email that they were doing 30% off tickets last week, so they must have been having problems moving tickets. This building was not sold out either. Apparently, Khan was asked about the status of Chris Jericho and Britt Baker, and he quickly changed the subject to Jungle Boy being back and said he's always keeping the door open for their return. They're still under contract, guys. It's not that he's keeping the door open for his return. It's he's not using them unless they re-sign. And I would guess Jericho's a pretty smart guy. He should probably just go and end his career in WWE at this point. Let's look at what else he does not. He claims he does not have the numbers from whatever they're doing on Max. Of course, Dynamite and Collision are reaching all-time lows in both attendance and actual viewership these days, and they're losing to NXT pretty much every week. Someone is also asking, is it possible that all AEW shows, including Ring of Honor, could be under one streaming or cable service? No answer on that for everything. I don't even know where Ring of Honor airs other than like the special streaming services, but it seems like his version of Ring of Honor has been the worst ever. On a potential AEW Dark return, he says it's potential, but there was a reason why those shows ended, I guess. Apparently, Athena is banged up, but will be back soon. Those are all of the notes, the main notes of what Tony Khan had to say. Stephanie still looks great. Well, she's a multi-millionaire. I'm sure she has access to the best cosmetics, best doctors. I used to bounce with a guy, Steve Campagna, that went to the same college as her. And from what he told me, they were friends in a sexual way in college. He was a football player. And when WWE would come to Ottawa, he would always this is legitimate, he would always get tickets. And she actually visited Ottawa a few times to hang out with him. And he was still living with his parents in those days. And he said she was living on sleeping on the couch of this guy's mom, and he always found that funny that Stephanie McMahon would sleep on his mom's couch. But yeah, I had an awkward moment. I actually brought him up to Stephanie when I met her in Kelowna, BC, back when I was used there as an extra by WWE in 2004. And I still, to this day, I can't remember if it's Steve Campagna or Steve Campagna, but I'm like, you used to go out with this guy I used to bounce with, but by this time I had bounced with him for a year. And I got the name wrong. And she corrected me, but I guess Triple H was close by and it just ended up. Maybe that's why I never got signed that time. It was very awkward. And that's my only Stephanie McMahon interaction I've ever had.